10 things I wish I could have told myself when I first went gluten-free. Hey Phil, licorice isn't gluten-free. I'm talking red vines, Twizzlers, even the peel ones that you like so much. Candy licorice is just one of those weird gluten-containing foods that you have to worry about, like soy sauce or sour punch straws. The things I would do to have those straws tear the fibers of the roof of my mouth again. Just one last time. Don't expect people to know what gluten is, and don't be disappointed when they don't. Because if I think about it, I didn't even know what gluten was until I needed to know what it was. Until I had to cut it out. And that's what it's like for a lot of people, getting diagnosed later in life. But bottom line is, a lot of people don't have celiac disease or other health conditions that require a gluten-free diet. And a lot of people don't even have a loved one or a friend or even an acquaintance that has to eat gluten-free. So they just literally don't know what gluten is because it isn't prevalent in their life. And so these people might derive their knowledge from stereotypes, which is unfortunate. You're one of those people. So my stance is, as long as people aren't being like malicious.
You can't have wheat bread, but you can have white bread, right?
And they're just more so confused.
So can you eat wheat thins? What's the first word of that food?
Just try your best to educate them in any way you can, because then they'll learn and they won't be confused anymore. But, you know, if they work in healthcare or the food industry, that's a different story. They should know. If you're on the go, always be packing. Just a little snack. It's not always easy to find gluten-free snacks when you're out in the wild, and you're prone to get hangry, my guy. So just slip a protein bar in your pocket before you leave the house. These are some ones that I like to carry around. Wow, good choices. Some people carry around snacks, some people don't. It's strictly preference. I like to do it. When you order a salad at a restaurant, make sure they don't plop any tons on there, okay? And if they did put croutons on there, they gotta make you a whole new salad and not just like pluck the croutons off and give it back, because there's still gonna be gluten residue on there, all sprinkled throughout the salad. So to make sure that restaurants don't do this, some people like to put some pepper on their salad before they ask for it to be sent back and to get a new one. Because then when they bring the new salad back, if the pepper's still on there, you know they just took the croutons off, and it's not safe to eat if you're a celiac. But if the pepper's not on it, you know you got that new, that freshy deshy. I don't. Forget it. The hardest thing to let go of when you're gluten-free isn't the bread, it's the spontaneity. You can't just like pull off to McDonald's on a road trip anymore. And you can't just pop into any local restaurant or pub and try out the city's famous food or drink. You're gonna have to make sure it's safe first. And a lot of the times it's not gonna be. Like, I bet it's pretty hard to find a gluten-free Philly cheesesteak, but someone correct me if I'm wrong. So you're really just gonna have to become more of a planner, which isn't a bad thing. Use the apps I talked about in the first video, here's a refresher, to find restaurants or places to eat. And when in doubt, Google. I can literally type anything into Google now and the words gluten-free will populate at the end of it. So if you're unsure, it's worth tossing it in your favorite search bar. Also, call restaurants before you go there to hear what gluten-free options that they might have. And reach out to your gluten-free network, which I'll get to in the next tip. A support system is huge. Right now, you don't know anyone who's gluten-free in your life, but here you are 4 years later and you know thousands of gluten-free people. Thousands. I'm talking thousands. It can be easy to feel like you're alone living this gluten-free life. It can be lonely, but it is so helpful to talk to people going through the same or similar things as you. And there's so many social media accounts, Facebook groups, subreddits, in-person events, expos, cruises that are focusing on a gluten-free life and tips and tricks and recommendations and community. Fries aren't always gluten-free, and it's so annoying. Potatoes are naturally gluten-free, and fries are literally just potatoes, oil, and like salt and pepper. But if the restaurant puts all their food into the same fryer, the fries are likely gonna be, oh, can you guess it? Cross-contaminated, beat you to it again. Because you have to think that like all the gluten food is swimming around in the same pool as the gluten-free stuff, just intermingling. So you have to ask the restaurant if they use a shared fryer or a dedicated gluten-free fryer. That's that good shit we like to have. Some places will even say their fries are gluten-free and they'll be like, are you good with cross-contamination? And if you're a celiac, that's a hard nope, no, nah, ain't no way. Pizza crust doesn't have to taste like cardboard. I swear. Here are some options that are very, very tasty. But honestly, they're like kind of harder to find, so I like these when you're in a pinch or you're at a place that doesn't have the previous ones. There are a ton of legit health reasons why someone might have to be gluten-free. So you're not this weirdo outlier like you think you are. Most people who are gluten-free have celiac disease. That's an autoimmune disease where gluten literally causes the body to attack itself when consumed. Phil, you handsome little muskrat, you have eosinophilic esophagitis. And it takes you about a year to pronounce that correctly and confidently. But in short, EOE is food trigger based. Cutting out wheat and dairy alleviated your symptoms, and they're two of the most common triggers. So there's a lot of other people with EOE who are also gluten-free. Other reasons why people might be gluten-free are, there's a lot of reasons. buy stock in your rice and potato intake because your consumption of those foods is gonna skyrocket. That's it. That's the whole tip. You just got to trust me on this one. If you find a way to like legitimately bet that you're gonna eat more rice and potatoes, we're gonna be millionaires, my guy. Let me know if you want a part 3. Peace.